Circuit City's doors open 5 a.m. Friday with huge savings on the gifts everybody wants. Don't miss our incredible 6-hour specials. Save $180 on this sharp 19-inch LCD HD TV. It all starts 5 a.m. Friday at Circuit City.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Player One Start. So it's that time of year again. It is time for Black Thursday? So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it by saying that I do not care for the fact that all the retailers have taken away Black Friday to make it a Thanksgiving tradition rather than a day after Thanksgiving. My favorite joke that I used to say for this time of year was that only in America can we fight people for things that we want after being thankful for what we already have. And I'm sad to say that I actually participated in this for many years, starting in around the year 2000. But in the last 5 years or so, I've actually found myself taking my business more online, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have done the same. But another reason why I don't do it anymore is because everything starts on Thursday now, and I'm busy spending time with my family on Thanksgiving. Although I guess if you're trying to avoid your family, saying I'm going shopping is actually a valid excuse now. Either way, when looking at deals that I think I might be looking forward to this year, I thought it would actually be a good idea to actually look at the past, like I often do on this channel, to show you some of my favorite Black Friday deals, and are they still worth it to me? So a quick history here for Black Friday. It is actually the informal name for the Friday following Thanksgiving here in the United States, which is celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November. The day after has been regarded as the beginning of America's Christmas shopping season since 1952, although the term Black Friday hasn't really been used widely until more recent decades. Many stores offer highly promoted sales on Black Friday and open very early, such as at midnight, and actually more recently, the day before on Thanksgiving. And although not officially recognized as a U.S. holiday, except for in California where they acknowledge that there is a day after Thanksgiving holiday for state employees, many institutions will actually take the day off. And as with other holidays, commercial entities often market to people on their free time to come in and visit their stores. Black Friday has often been called the busiest shopping day of the year in the United States ever since 2005. Although some news reports, which were at the time inaccurate, have often referred to this day as being the busiest shopping day prior to 2005. Starting in 2009, Kmart opened at 7 a.m. on Thanksgiving in order to allow shoppers to avoid the madness that follows with Black Friday. However, just a couple of years later, many stores started opening at 8 or 9 p.m. on Thursday evening, eventually leading to what became known as Black Thursday. However, in the past couple of years, many retailers started opening and remaining open all day, beginning in the early morning hours. Some call the day Gray Thursday or Brown Thursday instead of Black Thursday. So I'm actually going to be taking an in-depth study of the things that I have purchased on Black Friday, and I'm going to be looking at things like, do I still own them, do I still use them, and was it really a good deal after all? And I'm going to get down to it by showing you my very first Black Friday deal. Alright, so at the time I'm filming this section of the video, I'm actually having a hard time finding my first Black Friday deal. I'm keeping it somewhere, I just can't find it, but I'm going to show you right here. That's right, so back in the year 2000, I actually saved up enough money over the summer to buy my very first DVD player. This was actually before the PlayStation 2 came out, so having a DVD player separate from the game console actually made financial sense because there was no game console that had it built in yet. And I was just too impatient. So I only owned like 1 or 2 DVDs. We rented a few of them from the store because they were just really expensive. And so I took the Black Friday opportunity to find some DVDs and expand my library a little bit. And this was the first movie I ever got. They were pretty well picked over in the store that I decided to go to. And I actually had this in my hands and a Black Friday incident happened where an old lady walked by me, grabbed it out of my hands, and I remember her saying, "I need this." And she just started walking away. My older brother actually had to go and get it back from her saying, "Hey, my little brother was going to buy that movie." In retrospect, I probably should have just let her have it, because I ended up not liking this movie. But again, that's just a Black Friday experience that I had, and I ended up getting it for $5. $5 is probably the most this movie would sell for, I guess. I haven't really looked it up, but it doesn't seem like $5 was a good deal for modern times. But back then, getting a DVD for $5 was extremely cheap. And I could afford $5 as a kid, so that's what I wanted to get. But overall, as I really didn't enjoy the movie, and I don't ever watch physical DVDs anymore, I'm going to say that no, it wasn't really worth it. Fast forwarding a few years later, I actually end up getting a PlayStation 3 on Black Friday in 2007. This was actually my second PlayStation that I got. I actually ended up getting one earlier in the summer, but it blew up. I mean, literally in a puff of fire and smoke. And it just stopped working. So it was one of those PlayStation 3s that had hardware backwards compatibility, one of the first models to come out, and they were notorious for failing and overheating. So I only got to play it for maybe a day or two before that happened, and I had to return it, and I waited until they came out with the 80GB model that was software backwards compatible, meaning that it would use emulation rather than an actual PlayStation 2 chip inside of the console. And that is still my PlayStation 3 to this day. In fact, I think I use it more for a 3D Blu-ray player than I actually do as a PS3, but I like using it for some retro gaming on there every now and again. So the deal on Black Friday when I got this system was that it would come with a free Blu-ray movie. Kind of weird that a game system would come with a movie, but, it already came with a game packed in, so I guess I didn't mind it. But also keep in mind that this was going to be the jump from standard definition to high definition, and Sony wanted to be the king of that format by introducing Blu-ray discs. Sony was hoping to repeat the success they had with including a DVD player in the PlayStation 2 by having the PS3 capable of playing high-definition Blu-ray movies. And this is the movie I selected out of those available. Unfortunately, this is not the original copy of this movie that I got. I actually ended up lending that out and it was never returned to me, so I had to replace it a few years later. So yes, I consider that worth it. Up until the last couple of years, I was still using that as one of my main game consoles. Until I got the PS4 Pro, I was actually still using that to play some of the games that GameStop was kind of clearancing out on PS3 shelves, and you couldn't play those on PS4, so it was still hooked up for a while. So even though I didn't really get any money off of this console, I still think it was a good deal because I got a movie with it, and I am just now remembering that I also got a second controller with it as well. However, that was not the Black Friday deal during that day. In fact, there were no deals on the PlayStation 3 that Christmas, I think because Sony was really disappointed in the amount of sales they had, and they were already taking a huge loss on each console sold at the price they had it coming out at. The deal I ended up getting was my very first HD TV. In 2007, every single TV in my household was a tube CRT television. I think they called them HD Ready at the time. Flat panel TVs were insanely expensive. I think I remember seeing televisions for around $700. On the way out, I saw the 19-inch TV, which yes, is incredibly tiny, even about the size of a computer monitor. And I was ridiculed by my friends for this, but I was insanely proud of it because I got a PlayStation 3. I want to play it in high definition. That's what this console's for. So yes, I ended up getting that TV for $199. Now I know the ad showed it for $249, but I think if you got there early enough, you got $50 off, and then the rest of the day, it was actually going to be $249. Now, do I consider this deal worth it? Well, considering that TV is now 12 years old this year, and it is still being used, I'd have to say, yeah, it's definitely worth it. So that is crazy to think that a TV I bought 12 years ago, and at a ridiculously kind of small size that no one would buy anymore, is still being used. And it still works great, even surviving past other TVs that my parents have gotten that didn't last this long. They only lasted about a couple of years, and they already had to replace it. A few years later, when I graduated college, my parents actually ended up getting me a 40-inch flat-screen TV, so I gave them the old 19-inch TV, and they still use it in their kitchen to this day. So yes, I still think it's worth it, even though I don't still own it. So other than some of these bigger items I've talked about, what else do I find on Black Friday? Well, to tell you the truth, the only time I buy brand new video games seems to be around this time period. So I'm often asked by friends and family who actually know about the video game scene and have seen stuff come out. They'll ask me, oh, hey, did you get Link's Awakening yet? Or, hey, did you get Overwatch yet? Or did you get any of these games that came out throughout the year? And my answer is usually no. I have a lot of retro games that keep me busy, but I also have some stockpiles of new games that I still have to get through. And so I'm not really as concerned about getting most of these games on release day. I usually end up waiting until Black Friday, and I'll get them for half off, only because they're a couple months old, or even from the beginning of the year. And because I'm a gamer on a budget, this is actually the best way for me to start collecting some of these newer games. And while there are a few exceptions I make, for example, Kingdom Hearts 3 was a game that I got at the very beginning because, I was really looking forward to that game and I really wanted to play it. So I am willing to pay for certain games right away if I can't wait for it, but actually getting through that backlog of games is actually more important to me than getting a game on release day. This is also a great time for me to get some Christmas shopping done. And since I'm the tech-savvy person, I look for tech-savvy deals, I actually take some time to find some other electronics deals or movies, video game deals for other people in my family, and that's usually what I give away for Christmas gifts because, well, that's the stuff I like to give. But anyway, that kind of completes this retrospective that I have on some of the Black Friday deals I've gotten in the past. What are some of the deals that you guys are proud of that you've gotten on Black Friday? What are some of the horror stories that you've experienced or you've had someone you know experience on Black Friday? Are the deals on Black Friday really worth it for you to go out and start spending your money? Or are there any deals that you guys are looking forward to this year? Or are you one of those people that just kind of sit back and say, you know what, I'm not going to shop on Black Thursday or Thanksgiving, and maybe you don't go out to the doorbuster crowds, but maybe you get some of your Christmas shopping done. Go ahead and let me know any of your thoughts and comments about Black Friday in the comments below. I'd really like to see what you think. That said, that is going to wrap it up for this video. Remember, if you like what you see, please hit that like and subscribe button, share with a friend. As always, you can reach out to me on social media. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned because I have more content coming. I'll see you all next week. If you like this video and you'd like to help out with future projects on this channel, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Also, if you enjoy the content of this channel, please remember to click on this subscribe button. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.